Hello YouTube, this is MPan72 bringing you another episode of Collectibles. And as you can see, today we're doing the Eisenhower dollar. Now, there is a commemorative Eisenhower, and then there's the series, I guess you would call it. But I do have, and I do like the commemorative, so I'm going to show you those as well. Now, the Eisenhower dollar was from 71 to 78, with the commemorative being in 1990. Frank Gasparo was the original designer of the Eisenhower dollar, and the reverse for the bicentennials was the designer was Dennis Williams, and I believe that was a contest, and he won and basically picked his design. Now, the design for the Eisenhower dollar series was an eagle land. The reverse was an eagle landing on the moon, which is really a cool reverse. It's my favorite part of the dollar. And for the bicentennial, it's basically the Liberty Bell superimposed on the moon, and the obverse is basically just a bust of Eisenhower. Eisenhower was a popular president overall, generally, but not getting too deep into politics. There are some silver Eisenhowers pretty much through the whole series. I believe they're 40% silver from 71 all the way up to the end, and I believe they're all going to be S-Mint marks, but not all S-Mint marks are going to be silver. So they're going to be, I believe there are going to be proofs that aren't silver, but then there aren't going to be proofs that are silver in the entire series. It's a little easier with the bicentennials because they usually come in a packaging that indicates they're 40% silver. If you know what you're looking at, you can pretty much figure it out, and that is part of it. Like, you will, if you do want to collect this series, you will need to get pretty deep into that, which ones are silver, which ones aren't, because it's not a huge series. As I said, it's only 71 to 78. So if you're going to collect the series, you might as well go whole hog on it. Collect the different compositions. Also, there are different varieties as far as the reverse. I know they enhanced it for some years, and slight changes here and there. And I believe there's different things about something about the moon. I'm not a huge collector of the Eisenhowers. I do keep some around because they're pretty cool to give away to kids who have never seen a silver dollar, even though it's not quite a silver dollar. It's actually a copper nickel clad dollar for the most part, and most of the ones I own are. I do have 40% silver bicentennial in my typeset, but they're pretty cool because they're large pattern, the last large pattern dollar, and very simple, very easy, very inexpensive series to collect. And there are plenty of folders out there. I know there's a Dansko. There's plenty of folders and albums out there to keep them nice and secure. And like I said, very simple and relatively inexpensive. Well, inexpensive overall. I mean, you can get most of them for face value in fantastic condition. They can come out of the mint sets. And like I said, I don't have many of them. I'm not a huge fan of the series. Not to say I don't like it, because it's a pretty cool coin, and it is the last large pattern dollar. Hopefully until 2021, well, we will see. But what I do like are the commemoratives. Now, this came in 1990. I said this is the silver proof, and it came along that collection I talk about semi often. That I bought, and it's the 100th anniversary of his birth. That's the silver proof. But what is even more interesting to me, and this actually has a whole large wooden collectors, and most of that is on case. Most of that smudging and all is on the capsule. The coin itself is fantastic. This is, I'm not sure if it's the only silver dollar minted at West Point. It says the first. I'm not sure if there were any others, but I thought it was pretty interesting. And this comes, like I said, a big wooden case. I think I paid like $30 for it. A little more than I should have, but I was at a pawn shop, and I was I was turning in some silver, which I made a killing on, some sterling silver, and he had a few things, and I grabbed some 90% Kennedys and this off of them, and I think I basically paid 30 for this. And it's this with the wooden case, but it makes a wonderful display. So it's on my shelving downstairs. So that's why I paid a little more than I believe I should. When I looked it up, that's about what they were going for. Maybe a little less, a few of them a little more. But like I said, the Eisenhower dollar is a pretty easy coin to collect, and the good thing about it is if you do want to go a little higher end, they're not crazy when you get into the MS 60, low 60s. So you can make a beautiful collection. You can have a beautiful album with mint state, lower to middle mint state coins for relatively inexpensive for what it might cost a few other series for just one coin or one or two coins. I'm going to guesstimate you could probably have a really nice set for several $100s, if you get lucky with the silvers. Because even the silvers are basically just going to go as 40% silver prices, maybe a little bit higher, in the mint state, low to mid mint state. They'll go for more than melt value, but it still shouldn't be crazy prices. You can even do a slabbed set with these and still come out, not too expensive. So this is a series that you can really, really play with. You can get a basic series and probably put it together for less than $40 or $50, $60, $70 if maybe. There's no real key dates to it, but there are a variety or two that may be a little more expensive. And I know there's only one known example, but I don't consider that anything. That's probably something. I think it was I forget what it was, but it was a 40%er that something or another, it shouldn't have been made. So obviously those don't count. But all in all, like I said, relatively easy, relatively inexpensive. And they're fun because they're huge. I mean, we don't carry coins like this around anymore. We don't carry 50 cent even around anymore. Most people don't even carry coins, but I do. I personally do. So I don't know if you consider the 1990 commemoratives part of the set, but if you do, they're also relatively inexpensive. It depends what kind of sizes, what kind of condition you want to go in. I personally, if I ever did put a set together, I would have the commemoratives. Well, number one, I do have them, so I would consider that part of my collection. But most people probably wouldn't because it's not part of an issue. It's part of the commemorative issue, which we might get into down the road. So I guess I wouldn't consider it part of the actual issue of coins. Rambling again, but there's the Ike dollars. Let me know what you want to see next. I could always take ideas, but let's just look for coins that the average person can collect and pretty much complete the set without going broke. Even if there's one or two coins in there that are relatively expensive, we can work around that. We can figure that out because you always have Christmas and birthdays. But thanks once again, YouTube. This is MPN72. See you guys later.